Hi, I'm Joanne Price, the facilitator of the autoimmune group in Central New Jersey. We're a face-to-face group that meets once a month, but I do the video blog in place of the typewritten blog because that's what the members said that they needed. Reading the written word and comprehending that was challenging for many. So I'm giving this a try, and I'm hoping that it works well for you. We just had a meeting 2 days ago, January the 14th, 2017, and we had our first presenter of this year, Fran Russo, who is an author and a shaman, and she came in to share with us a little bit of her vast knowledge on journeying within and using your own body as a tool to getting to a better level of wellness. And we're talking a lot about that in group right now, as many of us have made New Year's resolutions to this end. And really, those of us that are living with chronic illness, who is not trying to get to a better level of wellness? Every one of us, I know, right? So, welcome to my kitchen table. I'm glad you're here. I will try not to ramble too much, but the presentation did get me thinking. I mean, it was amazing, and for that few minutes, I'm thinking, can our brains be trained to be more of a tool for us? And I've processed some of that, and I want to share with you that I really do think it's possible. So let's look at what we know can happen in a negative way if we are using our brain without even knowing that we're doing it, because that happens. Have you ever started your morning and things are just not going the way they're supposed to, and you have like a 3 o'clock doctor appointment, and you're finally getting together and getting out the door, and all morning long you've been saying, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. You're getting out the door and you're looking at your watch and you're like, 5 minutes later than I wanted to leave, and already I know I'm going to be late. Well, what happens when you keep declaring to the universe that you are going to be late? The universe has to answer you with what you know to be the truth. You will be late. So you're going to hit every red light. The bus is going to get in front of you because now it's time for the kids to get let out from school. So you're going to be late. You're late, and you knew you were going to be late all along. But what came first, the cart or the horse? And you might be tempted to think, well, I just knew I was going to be late because of the time. But you didn't know that the bus was going to be there. You didn't know 2 people were going to nearly pull out in front of you, and then traffic was going to get all wonky because of that, and you didn't know you were going to hit every single light, but you did because you declared it to be so before you even left the house. Also, pretty much every one of us must know somebody who constantly says, I just can't sleep. I can never sleep. I can't fall asleep, I can't stay asleep, I can never get enough sleep, I'm always fatigued, I'm always tired. Well, does that person ever get a good night of rest? No, they don't. Maybe medically speaking, they're on a medication that's going to help them, but even then, it's tricky. It's not the best sleep, with medication as it would be from a normal biorhythm standpoint. Try not to get my nursing thoughts too jumbled in my head that I'm going down that road. But anyway, so we have proof that if we are negative, the universe will hear us. And if you can see what I'm saying on that point, go with me for a moment the other way and just see if you can at least give it some thought that perhaps it's true that we can get our brains to help us in a positive way. If we're capable of doing that negative, we have to be capable of doing the opposite, right? And I've been doing for the last several years without even realizing it. I have been your guinea pig. I finished a degree in 2009, and I was a full-time employee at that time, and dealing with this chronic illness that was really dragging me down and causing a lot of havoc. So one of my main, because it was for nursing, my main nursing courses, I elected to drive probably an hour and a half out of my way to go take classes down at Ocean County, because they were twice a month and they were only on Saturdays, and I didn't want to have to try to be in a classroom after working all day, because I thought even driving at that point was not going to be safe for me. I didn't think I would do as well online, because I thought I would probably procrastinate. If I didn't feel well on Monday, I'd push it to Tuesday, and I'd be doing everything the day or the night before it was due. And so I decided that this opportunity sounded the best out of any of the solutions. But Friday, of course, after a long week, I would come home fatigued and exhausted. So what did I do to make sure that I could get to class? It started out from the time that I got home. I would get myself an early dinner and, take a hot bath, get settled, read a book in my bed, have the alarm set, have everything planned out for the morning. What am I going to wear? What am I taking to eat? My water bottle, my car keys, all of that. But a lot of it took place here in my brain. I would start by saying, as soon as I shut the lights off, I'm going to feel well enough to go tomorrow. Of course I'm going to feel well enough to go tomorrow. I love school. I don't mind the ride. It's going to be great. I'm going to get there. It's going to be really interesting. I'm going to love it. And then I would start by saying, I'm going to set my alarm for 6 a.m. When I wake up, I'm going to feel well. I'm going to feel rested. And then that little one sentence, when I wake up at 6 a.m., I will feel well and I will feel well rested. I would just play that in a loop, almost like a meditative experience, just at least 10 times. And I would count under the covers on my fingers until I did all 10. And if I could keep going, I would. But quite often, just that loop was enough to make me so drowsy that I would drift off to sleep. And when the alarm went off in the morning, I'm not saying I was bouncing out of bed, doing jumping jacks, or, sprinting to the car. I still had an illness, but I felt well enough to get myself into the car. And even if I didn't feel that great, getting ready and getting into the car, I had the hour and a half ride in which I would put fun music on and then just kind of, I'm really basically sitting still, just kind of driving. So I managed by doing that to not miss any classes. We met twice a month for the whole semester, which is 4 months of each class. And for the bachelor's, there were, I don't know, I must have driven down to Ocean County for probably 3 different semesters at least. So when I explained to you how many times that I did this and drove down there, I think you can see why I would begin to believe in the process that this works for me. Now, I don't know, maybe some people's brains respond better to the power of suggestion than others, but I'm sharing with you what has worked for me to help my life to become more successful. And I'm telling you that that is the truth. That really worked for me. So I really think that, some of us actually do a little bit of this without even realizing it. Are you the kind of person that if you're going to set your alarm clock for the morning, are you awake 3 minutes or 5 minutes before it goes off? especially if you wake up at different times throughout the week, then you know it's not just your biorhythm, that you've slept enough and now you're magically waking up because you're well rested. Who among us in the chronic illness world feels well rested at any given time, right? But somehow, if you're able to wake up right before your alarm goes off, you're doing this. It's working. You suggested to your body and your brain by setting the clock or setting the phone or whatever it is. And, once or twice in your head, you're verifying, okay, is it really set? Yep, it looks good, it's set. And then before you go to bed, you take one more quick look. Yep, 6 a.m. Okay, 6 a.m. All right, but you're going over and over in your head. I apologize if you can hear the dogs. I put them outside. So anyway, the power of suggestion is there for us. And it just kind of lends towards this idea of journeying within, which comes from Fran Russo's presentation to us this past Saturday. And if any part of that feels honest and real to you, look into it. Go to Fran's website. I always like to recommend people to read The Secret. That's written by many, many, many different people. And I have to say that I can credit that particular book with a lot of my improvements. And I am working a few hours each week now, and baby steps. But there were many, many years where I didn't know if I would ever be able to work again. And it looked like no was the answer for quite a while. So if I can share with you certain things that I've done that work for me, and if even one of them gives you 5% improvement and then another thing gives 5%, eventually the building blocks, you might see significant improvement over the course of time. I don't think anybody should tell you that you're going to be better tomorrow. Obviously, it's the right medication regime. And I'm on Xeljanz, which I credit with a huge improvement in my wellness. But I'm also in the driver's seat, and my body and my brain are along for the ride, and I have to be the driver. So I'm going to take in all the information that I can, process it out for myself, pass on to you what I think works, and even things that don't work for me. If I hear about them and know about them, I'm surely going to pass it on to you and let you be the judge of what the information is. I mean, the internet is there for everybody. Whatever we're talking about, you can definitely Google it. So get on there, look at the power of suggestion. Go ahead and look at the Journeying Within. And Fran Russo, of course, is available to talk to any of you through email. Any of you that took the presentation on Saturday, please let her know that you were present in the room. And the meeting minutes will also reflect some of this information as well. Thank you for stopping by into my kitchen. And sorry again about the dogs. Feel better, find some joy, find some peace, be well, and I hope to see you at the next meeting of the autoimmunegroup.com. Who was that guy? So funny. Dane Cook? Props to him. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.